Hi besties, and also I imagine people who are mad at me from the title, which at this point I'm planning on making the title just like I didn't vote or why I didn't vote or something. Anyway, I didn't vote, and that's a decision that I stand by. This isn't gonna be me like, oh my god, I'm so sorry I didn't vote, and obviously all the bad things that are happening now are my fault for like opposing genocide. Actually, I think that's ridiculous that people are saying that. But yeah, first of all, I'm just gonna get this out of the way. I lived in California. I am Californian, but I moved in November, but like during the election, I still did live in California. My vote would not have changed anything. Kamala won California, so not my fault that Trump won, first of all. Yeah, just like Kamala was manufacturing consent for genocide. She was lying, saying that Israel has the right to defend itself, which it doesn't according to the Geneva Convention, which I've already talked about in my video, The Right to Exist. I talked a lot about that. But yeah, Kamala was saying that she was gonna be tougher on the border than Trump is. So like whatever is happening, like not whatever. So it's like serious, but Kamala wouldn't have been different, you know what I mean? She said she was gonna be tougher on the border. She said she was gonna be tougher on crime. She was already a cop, like, and then I don't remember like her title when she was like in charge of I want to say district attorney. That's what's coming to my head. But I feel like it's something else that started with like DA, but she had some like big position, and she didn't do some things that like she did some things that were really weird in my opinion. Like she made it so that like if a student was tardy too much from school, then their parents would get arrested, which is just like just seems to be like a war on like lower class people. Like just immediately it's just like people who are like, what if there's like someone who's a nurse, for example, who's like taking care of her kids, like maybe her husband walked out on her through no fault of her own, and like now she's just responsible for taking care of these kids by herself, and she's a nurse working like double shifts or something. And like it could be any job, it doesn't have to be nurse, but like pretty much any job you work at these days is gonna like try to schedule you weird times, like 39.5 hours, so they don't have to pay you benefits and stuff like that. Like they're all taking advantage of people, so like people aren't getting healthcare, and then you're just gonna target like the parents of like kids who can't make it to school on time. Like that's messed up. That's really messed up. So that's like I wouldn't have voted for her because of that. I think it's also like probably affecting more people of color, you know what I mean, than white people. Like I don't think that's a good policy to make. And there's a video of her going around, like Kamala saying like, more schools, less jails, more schools, less jails. Well, that sounds good, but actually blah 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 blah. And I'm just like, no, more schools, less jails. Well, I think like school in America, like public school, is definitely like it was created, like the way that the school system is structured now is like, I'm not the first person to say this, it's created to like teach children how to enter the workforce. It's not to educate children. It's a propaganda machine, and it teaches kids to sit. It used to be different skills, like when factories were still like common in America, but now a lot of people have like office jobs, so the skills that we need to learn in school are to sit still and shut up and listen to authority. You can't go to the bathroom when you feel the need, like you can't listen to your body. You have to like learn to cut that off. Learn to listen to authority when you can go to the bathroom, when you can eat lunch, when you have to like get there in the morning, when you're allowed to leave. Just all these things that school teaches us. And like homework, I read that like homework is one of the ways that schools like ingrain in children that your free time is not your own. You still have to like be doing something productive. So like sure, like in my ideal world, there wouldn't be more like American public schools, but there should be more schools than jails. We should build more schools and jails, and I don't think we should have jails either as an anarchist. Because, okay, there's this quote that I always come back to. It's, I'm gonna probably butcher it, but I'll put it like in the description. But it's like John Lame Deer. And that's what I typed to find it, is like John Lame Deer, the white man will probably get it for you. I can't remember. It's like, oh, thank God for the white man, because before the white man came, we didn't have laws, and so we didn't have criminals. And before the white man came, we didn't have money, and so we didn't have poor people and stuff like that. And it's like, yeah, like we don't need laws, and we don't need money. We don't need jails. Like, yeah. I think society can function without those things, and I think especially in America, the prison system has definitely, like, it's modern slavery, because the 13th Amendment only abolishes slavery except as punishment for a crime, and now we have prisons full of like Black and brown people, mostly, for like a lot of people in there for non-violent drug offenses, and then they're doing like prison labor for maybe like 22 cents an hour, which disabled people, last I read, were legally allowed to be paid 22 cents an hour also. So yeah, like just all of this stuff, more schools, less jails, more schools, less jails. No, actually, this seems like a good idea, but actually, and we have like for-profit prisons, so it's not like people are losing money. If there are empty prison beds in a prison, they're losing money, and so they want, there's like incentive to fill up prisons. In America, the freest country in the world, we have the highest prison population. We have more prisoners today than we've ever had slaves, and that makes a lot of sense to me, because slavery was only supposedly only in the southern states, and prisons are in all of them. We get prison labor in all 50 states, so congratulations to the land of the free, home of the brave. We did it, yay. So I didn't vote for Coppola, which is what I lovingly refer to her as. Yeah, and the first thing that people always say when, like, I see a lot of arguments about this on Blue Sky, just like, oh, so you think Trump is gonna be better for the genocide then? No, that's why I didn't vote for Trump either. Actually, I didn't think Trump was gonna be good. I actually think the system that led us to these two choices was bad, and it needs to be dismantled. Whether that's just like abolish the Electoral College, okay, fine. I think we need to abolish the whole country. I don't think, I've said this before, I don't think a country that was founded on genocide and slavery, and in our founding documents it says all men are created equal and gives rights to wealthy, aka land-owning white men. I don't think that a country founded on any of that can end up being what America pretends it is, like this like melting pot, land of the free. I don't think it's possible. I think we need to like get rid of, like, burn it all down, burn those documents, just get rid of it all. And start over with like actual equality for all. That needs to be like the foundation of the society, I think. And it doesn't need to be like in law, because like I've seen this before, like if somebody gives you your rights, they can take them away. If there's like a law that says everyone has equal rights, then the law can be changed to make it so they don't, like, suddenly don't anymore. Like, we have this whole system that was apparently, like, the propaganda about like the founding fathers is like, oh yeah, they wanted everyone to be free, then why did they own slaves? And they like made this democracy that was supposed to be like really good for everybody, but like in my AP Gov class, like he was telling us like, or maybe it was AP US history. It was one of those classes, but they're like, yeah, the founding fathers basically thought like most people were idiots, and they were trying to like protect voters from themselves. Cool. Messed up a little bit there. Yeah, so I don't think it's a good system. And people kept using that argument. They're like, you have to vote to save our democracy. You have to vote for Joe Biden to save our democracy. And then Joe Biden dropped out. And then we didn't get a primary. We didn't get a Democratic primary to even vote for who we wanted to run. It was Joe Biden was running again. And then he dropped out too late and we didn't get any choice. And that's not democracy. Like, that's not a democracy I want to defend. Yeah, if this is the democracy that you want me to vote for, and then you say I have to vote for this person, otherwise I'm gonna destroy the democracy, I don't think that's a democracy at all. So yeah, that's not something that I was willing to use my vote to defend because it's not real. Maybe if there was like a primary and then like we ended up with Kamala, whatever. I saw, okay, obviously like I've seen before that like, and I agree mostly, like mispronouncing somebody's name, especially a person of color, is like a no-no. It's kind of racist. I think like that's kind of a big leap to like sometimes, especially like with Kamala Harris, because like so many people like don't listen. Like I don't watch videos of the news, I read it. And so like based on the rules of the English language, when you read her name, it just comes out as like Kamala, but it's pronounced Kamala. But I don't think, I think like I saw videos of Black women specifically saying Kamala Harris, and then people would go in like their comments and be like, oh, you're mispronouncing her name. And like to me, like there was also the video of like outside the DNC, there were speakers playing the names of all the Palestinians, not all, obviously, there's too many, some of the Palestinians who have been killed in Israel's genocide against Palestinians. Like, and the DNC members were walking by, like, holding their ears, covering their ears so they wouldn't have to listen to their names. And it just, like, the contrast of that, of seeing people like, oh, you're mispronouncing Kamala Harris's name, while, like, there wasn't a video of her specifically walking by that I saw her doing that, but, like, everyone else in the Democratic Party was. And there were, like, these two little girls on stage that, like, taught everyone how to pronounce her name. And I just thought it was like kind of like the juxtaposition of those. I was like, I don't think this is like really what we need to spend our time on. Like, I don't think we need to like tell Black women that they're being racist for mispronouncing Kamala Harris's name when they've obviously just been reading it. And it's not like they're like saying it wrong on purpose or like coming up with some like racist name that's like, that sound, you know what I mean? I'm not gonna say it, but like there's a lot of things that you could do that are worse than just like stressing the wrong syllable of the name of somebody who's like promising to continue a genocide if she gets power, and she doesn't care how to pronounce Palestinians' names. Like, you think she can? So I just thought that was a little bit much. And then, okay, the other reason this does sound ridiculous, I will say that, and like every time I go to say it in my head, I'm just like, oh my god, I'm not a serious person. But like one of the things like I was thinking about when I decided like I'm not gonna vote, it's hard for me, like my dad and I were watching Shrek 4. So if you haven't seen it, that's the one with Rumpelstiltskin. And he makes a deal with Shrek. Shrek is like a new father. He's having a hard time. Like, it's his children's birthday party, and like things are just like pretty chaotic. And he's like, he just wants a break. And Rumpelstiltskin finds him and tricks him into like he's like, he promises to like change everything if Shrek gives up one day from his past that he doesn't even remember. And so he signs his life away. And the day happens to be the day that he was born. So he trades his life for like the day that he was born. So unless he can get like Fiona to kiss him, true love's first kiss, he's gonna like disappear and like it'll be like he never existed. And so I was just thinking about like it was it was just the signing his name, like he signs his name and like it signs his life away, and I thought about like contracts and like how it's legally binding to sign your name, and if you can't write, you still like write a little X, so it's like it still counts. And I just thought like just in elections in general, it feels like I'm also like an astrology girly, and when you watch astrology stuff you get exposed to like other like tarot, crystals, magic in general, like sigils, just all kinds of things. And I was thinking about like individual power, like I have power and everybody else has their individual power, but like when we go to vote, I guess this was kind of more of an experiment to see it's like, how do I feel if I don't vote? Because I've always voted. Voted has always been like very important to me. As an American, I just felt like, oh, I can't wait to turn 18 to vote. I remember learning that like the year I turned 18 was an election year and I'd get to vote like that year, and that was so exciting to me, and I did. I voted for Obama. And I voted for Hillary because I wanted there to be a woman president, and I didn't know that much about her past, to be honest. Probably wouldn't do that again, but I did. And then I couldn't vote for Joe Biden against Trump. I couldn't vote for Trump. They're both, I believe both have credible rape allegations against them, and they're both racist. Actually, I kind of don't believe Trump really cares about people of other races. I think he just like says racist stuff to get like people who he knows do believe those things to like get behind him. But like I saw someone point out like it's hard for Trump to like say transphobic things because he just kind of like naturally defaults to like gender neutral, and so it seems like kind of like a performance to like make him say something that's like transphobic. Not that I think, like, I do think the fact that he's saying these things, even if he doesn't believe them, is bad. And, like, I do think the people who are following him are, like, probably racist and transphobic and homophobic if they're, like, listening to him say these things and believing him anyway. Yeah, I'm not trying to, like, defend and be like, Trump's actually not racist. Like, no, he's still bad. I just, like, I don't think the racism is really, like, in his heart, you know? I think it's just, like, but I do think Joe Biden is, like, actually, like, a bad person. Actually, like, racist. Actually, like, very hateful. Yeah, anyway. But, like, I don't know either of that. I could be wrong, obviously. I probably am about Trump. Anyway. He just still, like, made fun of the, like, disabled reporter. Like, he's still just, like, a hateful person. You know what I mean? I'm not trying to, like, defend him and be like, he's actually good. And, like, actually, I voted for him. Like, I didn't vote for Trump either. I didn't vote for Kamala. I didn't vote for Trump. But I'm saying, I didn't vote for either of those men, in 2020 because I thought, I was like, they're both racist rapists. I'm not gonna vote for either of them. And I think I probably voted for Jill Stein. I didn't do research, so again, I lived in California. Like, Joe's gonna win, but I don't want to give, as a sexual assault survivor, I don't want to give power to somebody who's, like, using power and, like, abusing it in that way. So I think I probably just, during, like, while I was at the ballot, I just, like, scanned the list. I probably saw, like, Jill Stein. I'm like, okay, I'd rather have a woman, and it probably said Green Party. I'm like, is that, like, environmental? I don't know. But, like, I didn't think she was gonna win, and I just, like, didn't want to vote for the two. Like, I wanted my vote to count against them because I think they're bad people and they don't deserve power. And that didn't really do anything for me. Like, Joe Biden still won. And yeah, so this time I was like, I'm gonna do like an experiment. Like I feel like by voting and signing my name on the ballot is like some kind of like if you believe in magic, which I'm yeah, the last few years I've started to like open up to that possibility. I do believe people have power, and I believe that you can give it away. And I think by choosing to participate in an election, even if like your candidate doesn't win, like you know the rules of the game, like so you're giving your power to whoever ends up winning. In my like this is like a theory that I started thinking because of like Shrek 4. So I was thinking about that meme of like there's like one little domino and then get bigger and bigger, and it's like Shrek was released and then like Donald Trump wins the election. Because obviously he won specifically because I didn't vote, right? So anyway. Oh my gosh, I was thinking about this and I'm like, I think I messed up on the tail and I went too high, but luckily I still have like one more row where the tail's in and then it's done, but okay. So yeah, I was just thinking like I didn't want to participate in the election because I didn't want to like have like I feel like my power would go to whoever won. So like Trump would have even slightly more power now than he does if I voted for Kamala. And actually I saw Sammy Obeid say it's actually Kamala, like Kamala is like the sound for all of the vowels. Anyway, I don't know. So like even the people who are saying like you're not pronouncing it right are still not pronouncing it right. Anyway, I just like didn't want to vote for somebody who is manufacturing consent for genocide, lying about saying Israel has the right to defend itself against a population that it's oppressing and occupying, which it does not according to the Geneva Convention, once again. And she was promising, she's like, if I win, Israel will continue to have the means to defend itself. So manufacturing consent for genocide, promising to continue the genocide if she gets power, and I didn't want to vote for her. And okay, I haven't really talked about this before. It's kind of like, I don't know, it just feels very like personal. But yeah, okay, so I've talked about like being like questioning, like I don't know if I'm a lesbian or bisexual. Okay, this sounds weird. Like I decided I'm like probably definitely a lesbian. And like after October 7th, I started following more like journalists on the ground in Palestine. And I find like Palestinian men attractive in a way that like I don't find like most other men that I've seen. Like I thought like Motaz is cute and like Prince Kuta, and I was just like, okay, like maybe I'm bisexual after all. I don't know. And there was one guy, there's actually two guys. There was one guy who messaged me. He just said like he's like, I'm injured, and I thought he was like gonna ask for money, and I was like, I'm not really in a place to like donate right now, like I don't have any money either. But so I was like, sorry, I can't like help you. And he's like, can we just talk? And then so we talked for like a while. We talked for like 3 days straight. He told me that he loves me and like that I'm beautiful and my words are beautiful. And I was like, okay, like let's see, like maybe like I haven't met the right man because he's like trapped in Palestine. Because he was born and raised in Gaza and never left. Because Israel never actually left Gaza in 2005 like they say they did. Did I? Okay, yeah, I'm right. Okay. So yeah, we started talking, and like one reason I don't talk about it, like I feel weird talking about it because like, okay, I was 30 when it happened. I still am. And he said he was 20. And I was like, that seems like a big age gap. And then I feel like if I talk about it, people will be like, oh my god, you're a predator, you're a groomer. And I'm like, okay. I don't think, like I've only dated men, unfortunately. Like I wish girls, I wish I could date women more. But it's just like, doesn't seem to work out for me. I tend to like girls who, well, I guess one of the girls I liked was straight, or she said she's not gay. She said she was asexual anyway. But she, like, I would say asexual, hetero, romantic probably. Anyway, and then the other girl, I thought she might be into me, and then she like doesn't text me back, so obviously not. Anyway, yeah, dated men. The first guy, like my only other boyfriend, we were the same age. He was like a month and a week older than me. The next guy was like 1 year younger, and then the next guy was like 2 years older. So like this isn't like a pattern where I'm like consistently dating people like 10 years younger than me. It's just like one, and then I'm like, well, he approached me first. He was the one who, and then like, okay, if I heard like a 30-year-old man say that about a 19-year-old woman or a 20, I'm not sure, because he said 20, but then like I was like, he said he was born, okay, okay, his birthday was early, it was February, so I'm like, the math probably, if his birthday had passed already, yeah, then he'd be 20. Okay, so yeah, like, but still, if a man said that about a woman who was like 10 years younger, I'd be like, okay, shut up, dude. But like, also, like, this guy is trapped in Palestine. He told me he had a girl that he loved before, and she was killed by the occupation, and like they never even kissed. He kissed her on the cheek one time, but like they never did anything more than that. And so like, I don't know, I just kept thinking like, what if he dies tomorrow and like, no, like he never gets, like, because he would ask me for like pictures and videos and stuff, and I'd be like, I don't want to do that, but like he could like die tomorrow, you know what I mean? And like he'll never get to see a nice little pair of titties. Not that like I think my tits are that great, but like they're so small. But still, it's like, you know, you deserve to see some boobs before you die, you know what I mean? So I was like, okay, like, here you go. And then like, yeah, we kind of started like calling each other like boyfriend and girlfriend. But like, yeah, eventually he did things that like the other guys that I dated did that like I didn't like. Like, I'm not interested in anal sex at all. I've never thought that sounded fun. Everything I hear about, like, it sounds like women only do anal sex because like they're like, the one thing I think of is that song by, it's like those two comedian girls, women, like, fuck me in the ass because I like Jesus. That's like, so like women do anal because it's like a cheat to like not lose their virginity, and that wouldn't be women, that'd be like younger, anyway, like teenage girls who are like not 18 yet and like don't want to lose their virginity because they're like religious, you know what I mean? So I'm like, that's like, don't. And then if you want, like, if a man really wants to do anal, I'm like, why don't you find another, like, find a gay man? I bet he wants you to fuck him in the ass. I don't want that. And like there's only one guy who didn't do it. We did only sleep together once, and like, I don't know if he wouldn't have, like, if anything more had happened, like maybe he would have like started trying to do that. But yeah, it's like something that every guy started like I just want to, you should just try it. And like, I don't want to. I'm not interested in that. If you want to fuck someone in the ass, go find someone else. And so yeah, this guy from Palestine started asking me for videos of that, and I was like, I don't want to do that. So I didn't do it. And then I was like, he kept asking. I was like, stop asking me for that. I'm not going to do it. And it makes me really uncomfortable. And then he would like still ask sometimes. And I was like, I freaking told you I don't want to do this. Like, I'm not going to like continue. So yeah, we broke up because I was like, I don't want that. Like, stop. And also I'm like just pretty sure in the end, like, that I am a lesbian. Yeah, there was one other guy. There was like a brief window where like I thought like he wasn't responding to anything, which is like, it would happen a lot too, where like I would message him and he wouldn't respond for a long time, and then I'd be like, I wouldn't tolerate this if he wasn't in Gaza. And And like, but I understand because he's in Gaza, he doesn't have like his phone might not be charged, he might not have access to the internet, he might not have money for an eSIM, which like, yeah, there were like a couple times he's like, oh, I need another eSIM, and so like I'd have to send him money to keep talking to him. And also he was like, it was like $30, but it's not a lot. And also like I was sending money to other people, like I didn't have a lot, but like my dad was like, yeah, anyway. So yeah, I was like, I wouldn't tolerate this from somebody who like wasn't in Gaza, but like I understand like his circumstances are different. But there was like a time, it was like 2 days he hadn't responded. I'm like, oh my, like, did he die? Like, I don't like, and then I saw a video that looked, there was like two young men who like, they were walking, and then like suddenly like a missile was right behind them. And like one of them looked like a lot like him, and I was like, oh my god, is that him? Like, did I just watch my boyfriend die? Like, what the fuck? And he still didn't respond for a while, and so I was just like, I think he's dead. Like, I think he died. And then like the next day I got a message from him, and I was kind of like I don't want to keep going through this of like, I don't know if he's dead or not. And then like that really, like, I was pretty sure like he's probably, that it looked a lot like him. Yeah, and then it wasn't him, but like I wasn't like happy about it. I was kind of just like, oh, here we go again, and now I'm gonna like be talking to him for like more, and then like it's just gonna happen again. It's gonna like, and I'm gonna be worried whether like he's dead or not. And there were also times when like I would send him videos of just me like playing guitar or something, and then he responded to that by saying like, oh, there's like the occupations nearby, there's like there's a lot of like violence and like gunshots and stuff, a lot of noise. And I just felt like we're not compatible. We're like, I can't like tell him like I'm sad because like my dad keeps making, like, we would go to the farmer's market and he'd get tamales, like we'd freeze tamales, and then we'd end up having tamales like 3 times a week, and it was like exhausting. And he'd make like a full tamale and like a whole like plate of rice and give, and I'm a small person, I can't eat that much, and he just kept like, and it was so, and I was like, I can't complain to this guy in Palestine about like, oh, my dad keeps making tamales every night for dinner, and I'm like getting bored of the taste, and like he's starving. So like I felt like I couldn't really like talk to him about what was going on in my life. I couldn't just share my life with him without like, I don't know. And then he's just like hiding for his life. And I like, I don't know, I just couldn't do it. But I also like couldn't vote. I couldn't vote for somebody promising to like continue the genocide, like, and that's not something that I want to have to like tell everybody like that I see on Blue Sky. Like, actually like I couldn't bring myself to vote for somebody who was gonna promise to continue, who was promising, not who was going to promise, who's promising to continue this genocide, promising to continue to fund and arm Israel, promising to continue, like, not promising, but like continuing to manufacture consent for genocide, saying that Israel has the right to defend itself, saying that Israel should be able to defend itself, and she was going to make sure that they have the means to defend themselves. Like, I couldn't vote for her. And I'm sick of people blaming people who had the same reason. Like, a lot of other people refused to vote for her for the same reason, and I'm like, people are like, oh, you're stupid. Do you think Trump's better for the genocide? Do you think like blah, blah, like, ugh. And it drives me nuts. I saw a post that was like, how much better off would we be if Kamala were president right now? And the comments, like, I muted so many people from this. Like, everyone in the comments was like, over 1,000, or like, the limit does not exist, the scale is too small to, and they're just like putting, I don't, just ridiculous stuff in the comments. And I'm like, there was one person, I just muted most of the people, but there was one person like, the whole world would be better. And I was like, so fuck Palestine then, right? Okay. that's not how I responded. I said, like, what about Palestine? They didn't respond. But, like, to claim, like, I understand that people think, like, maybe she wouldn't have been, like, we probably wouldn't have had the whole tariffs thing if she won. But, like, most of the, like, she promised to be tougher on the border than Trump, whatever. I'm gonna leave. I'm not gonna correct myself there. Trump. Anyway, yeah, I don't think very much would be different. Meow. Hi, kitty cat. And I couldn't vote for somebody who, like, I did, like, for the brief time that we were talking, I did love this guy. Like, I cared so much. And I still do, but I just, like, I can't, like, just because he's, like, a good person and, like, all this stuff, like, it doesn't mean he has to be my boyfriend, you know? And yeah, okay, speaking of boyfriends, I got one comment that, like, kind of was weird. Someone's like, my liberal girlfriend yapping, that was the way my liberal girlfriend yapping is my favorite genre of content or something. And I was like, what? What are you watching? Because I am not a liberal, and this, I think it was a man, and they had alpha in their username. I was like, I'm not your girlfriend. Like, part of me was just gonna be like, I hope you don't mind that your girlfriend's a lesbian. But, like, then I felt like I was playing into that, like, I don't know, men want to be with two girls, or, like, it's okay if, like, my girlfriend kisses other girls, because that's not a threat to our relationship, because it's not real. So I was like, no, I'm not gonna say that. I was like, not a liberal, not your girlfriend. But thanks, I think. Yeah, I'm not a liberal, obviously. I think liberals are the people who, like, voted for Kamala anyway. Kamala, I said it right the first time. Despite the genocide. Because it's not affecting them. So yeah, not a liberal. I'm not your girlfriend. If any girls out there want to be girlfriends. But yeah, I couldn't bring myself to vote for Kamala. I didn't vote for Donald Trump either. It's not my fault that he won or that she lost. And then the other thing I wanted to say, I really don't think this is that important, and part of me thinks it's just kind of like this person was a paid actor trying to instill, like, tension. But, like, after Trump won, I saw there was, like, a video of a black woman saying, like, so you guys hate us, and I'm gonna go back to drinking Starbucks now because you guys couldn't vote for Kamala, which was, like, so weird to me, because, like, I know, like, black people and Palestinians and indigenous people and Irish people, I'm Irish, by the way, that's how anyway, my ancestry that I claim, we're also German, ew, don't just pretend I didn't say that. What are you doing to my water bottle? He likes biting on my stuff. But yeah, like, these communities have had, like, they understand the oppressive tactics of the colonizers and stuff, and that they stand together. We stand together, because I, as an Irish person, consider myself part of that. Although that sounds like I'm one of the good white people, so okay, pretend, whatever. But yeah, I was like, I don't really think that that's, like, a common thing that, like, people are doing, because I think a lot of people understand, like, the black people and Palestinians have, like, the same enemy, and so, like, fighting, you know. But yeah, it was just, like, it's kind of, like, disheartening to see people be like, oh, Kamala didn't win because this country hates black women, and it's like, well, probably true. But also, like, a lot of people who don't hate black women didn't vote for her because she's, like, manufacturing consent for genocide and promising to continue to fund and arm genocide. So, yeah, it's not that simple, you know what I mean? So that's just, I just want to get that off my chest because I'm tired of seeing people blame the leftists who refuse to vote for genocide for everything that's happening now, and like the Democrats could have just been like, okay, yeah, because how many people spent how many hours like marching, demanding a ceasefire, demanding an end to military aid to Israel? How many people called their senators asking them to stop the genocide? And they didn't listen to us. This is not a democracy. I couldn't vote to defend democracy when that's not what's happening. Yeah, and I'm tired of seeing people blame the people who tried to take a stand, who tried to vote third party. I wanted to vote for Claudia de la Cruz, but I just, like, even when people were talking about third parties, it was like, oh yeah, vote for Jill Stein, and I was like, like, she's not gonna win. And so I was like, I didn't want to give away my power. This is like kind of an experiment to see like how different. What are you doing to my blinds? Okay, whatever. Yeah, to see if I like feel more powerful. Like I do feel like I'm able to kind of like step back from the like politics a little bit more. How do I want to phrase this? Like I feel like I have more power because I didn't want to live in the United States, and then like the election happened and I didn't vote, and then like suddenly like my dad and I moved, and we didn't move where I wanted to move. We moved to the Midwest. I wanted to move out of the country, but like it's harder to do that than I thought it would be. You need like visas and all this stuff, and I just like, and money. It's like, I thought like, cause like we live in California and I'm like, this is like really expensive. And so like, if we move, it'll probably like, we could probably move to a lot of places that would be cheaper. But it's like most cities are just expensive. So, and like, there's nowhere in this country that like one person working a full-time minimum wage job can afford the study was like a 2-bedroom apartment, and that's ridiculous. Like you should be able to work. I mean, I think everybody who's alive deserves housing, but like some people would say like if you work 40 hours a week you shouldn't be homeless. Like yeah, okay, that's true. And also if you don't work 40 hours a week you also don't deserve to be homeless. But yeah, everybody deserves to have a place to live. Everybody like deserves not to have bombs falling all over. And I couldn't vote for Kamala. I know some people thought that that was like a good strategy. They'd rather like they're like, we're picking the conditions under which we're gonna fight. But like, how many people are like, if Kamala won we'd be at brunch right now? So like, I guess in some like small way, like the fact that Trump won means that like more people are in the fight against the like oppressive government, and that's good to me. Because like if Kamala won, a bunch of people would be like, okay, everything's good now, we have a Democrat in charge, we're fine, everything's fine. Like, and defending all her, like we'd be like, can she stop the genocide? And they'd be like, you don't understand how politics works, blah blah blah. Like shut the fuck, I don't care how politics works. I care that genocide is happening and I want it to stop. So that's my speech. Thanks for coming to my TED Talk. Please stop blaming leftists and people who, however they identify, people who refuse to vote for genocide enablers, and can we just stop doing that? Thanks. Like, blame the Democrats could have easily just listened to their constituents and stopped arming Israel. They could have like, and nobody blames Trump. Like, oh, it's all the leftists' fault for like not voting and letting Trump win. Okay, blame Trump for doing the things that he's doing, maybe. I don't know. Seems crazy, right? Anyway, I'm gonna stop here. Thanks for watching. Look at my little kitty cat. It's coming along. Ugh, I don't like that there's not a lot of contrast between the light green and the light blue. We'll see. Free Palestine, free Congo, free Sudan, free all oppressed beings everywhere. Thanks for watching. I have more stuff in the links if you care. Okay, bye!